Welcome back. Welcome to another edition of Nain Shorts, where we try to boost Eric's ego up just a little bit. We've been giving him a pep talk because he's been doing great. Guys, hasn't he been doing great? He's been doing great. Come on, everybody. Say it all at once. Yell it out at the screen. He's not going to hear it, but it's going to feel good to just praise somebody for doing a good job. So good job, Eric. You've been doing a great job so far. And I do appreciate your insight because today's a bit of a rare moment where we don't so much have a topic, we have a lesson that Rico gave us. Like we said, we're his students, so today... Anyways,
yeah,
Lucci has anger issues, and we gotta deal with that in the Amazon driver. But Rick came up to us and said, bear with me. Alright. No, you can stay seated. It's literally what Rick just did to the both of us. He just went... What did you see? That's it. That's all. That's pretty much the extent of the information that he supplied us to figure out what it was that he did. What did that amount to? So, for you, the audience, let me see if I can repeat it. Hold on one second. Hold on. Stop. I think that's exactly what it was. But what did you see? Those who train. What was that? What did it amount to, right? And you, what did you see, Eric? Because my head was somewhere else.
At first glance, the first time through,
yeah.
with Rico, I was thinking, okay, it looks much like a set or Tai Chi or something, but what I think I see going on, there's a punch coming in,
okay.
There's dealing with the punch, there's a redirection of the head followed with a kick.
Oh, nice.
At the end, it's a knee coming up.
Right. So that's what he got. I got something similar out of it, and then lo and behold, as soon as we give our input on it, he changes it, and it becomes something else, and then he changes it again, and then he changes it again. Yeah. And what was to what end? Right? Like, why? Why are you doing that? And the thing that is a little different about the way we train is that we don't have any set techniques. Like all this time we've been learning very rudimentary movements, and we don't have any set techniques like punch arts or grab arts or anything of the sort, or even forms to speak of.
True.
But as we talked in our last video, you do need to refine the physical movements, right? You still need to practice something and get really good at it. So what do you practice on? And this is the other side of that conversation is, what if your practice happens in your head? Like, can you visualize a legitimate punch coming and you methodically do something to it? Nothing set, just what at that moment you thought of. You created, okay, he parried, he took the other hand, he extended out to the head, he wrapped his arm around, okay, grab the head, okay. Yeah, but more so than that. Because like you said, you actually saw the punch coming, which means there had to be some consistency between his movements with nobody in front of him and movements that you've seen before in real life between two people.
That's correct.
Right? And that's one of the things that many of us, those who have trained for many years, have done so many techniques, so many different arts, or have done a very large art that has a long list of techniques and stuff. So you have, or should have, a good sense of what the body would do.
Yeah, and what we talk about too is understanding the other side of the fight.
Right.
So, yeah, I can recognize maybe what he's doing, but I need to understand what he's responding to, what's going on, imaginary or not, what that other person is doing.
That's a great point to make, because ultimately, as much as we may want to do one specific thing, if that person is not responsive to it or is not letting us do it, would we be able to pull it off? Like, how hard or how much harder would we have to work to make it happen?
Yeah.
So that was the lesson for us today, was like, can we start visualizing within ourselves different things, different responses to an attack, and then changing the attack changing our response to the attack. Can I throw a left knee instead of a right? Can I step in instead of step out? Can I take care of it with my right hand instead of my left? Like, all these things then become viable, but again, it has to be rooted in a sense of realism. Like, for example, let's just stand up, because that movement, right? So the way I understood it is that it came from a right punch. He came here, he took here, he grabbed, and he brought his knee up. Okay, that's my interpretation of it. And did it work? To an extent, yeah, but he's not resisting either way. But now we get to explore. So now I throw the punch. What would be your interpretation of those same movements, right? Ooh. That's what he got out of it. Because it's not dependent on what Rick showed us, right? That wasn't what he was showing us. He wasn't showing us the moves at all. He was just showing us the idea of what he goes through to develop things like that. So now, throw left and right punch. Oh! So now I found myself here. Why? Because he threw that punch and then I had to come here. From this position, what can I do? Well, I can throw a knee, I can hack at the shoulder, I can take this knee out, I can go down into a choke, I can spin him around and bring him. There's so many options to do, but can I take the time in my own head to go through all the options? Physically, yeah, but we don't always have the time. But let's think of it that way. We're going to go through all the different variations of that particular attack, and those are just the ones we can come up with. You guys can come up with other ones, but the idea is, can you do that in your own head when there's nobody in front of you? So now I throw a left and right. Oh, there you go. That's your variation of it, and you end the fight. Now throw a left and right again. Okay, that's my variation of it. Now I throw again.
Sorry, little gravity involved there.
Folks, that wasn't edited. That was real life sound effects of an elbow in your throat. So now you know what it sounds like. All right. So now you throw, right? So here, here, here. Oh, I like the inside. Now, why is that? Can I go to the outside? Now, one more time. Can I go here? Oh, shit. Yeah, I can. But I'd had to do a lot more to get here. So now I'm pushing the limit of what I understand and what I'm capable of doing. And how finite can you go into the details? Because something that we discovered as we were doing it is like, okay, what if we pick specific points of contact? Right? Let's say I want to hit this shoulder and that knee, but I don't know how he's going to attack. Now I don't know the variation of it. All I know is that I want to get these targets. So he attacks however he wants to, and that's it. That's as simple as it is. I got to the shoulder and I got to the knee. Why I would punch the knee, I don't know. I really don't. That's right now not the point of the exercise. It really is just, can you do it? Oh, I remember now. Because we were using sticks at one point, so hitting the knee with the stick is a bit more viable than hitting with your fist. But then that brings up a question. If I don't have a stick, and I'm still playing the same body part, same exercise, how could I then make it something that would be viable? Right? So he attacks again. Hit that, and I stomped the knee. Well, I had to worry about what was happening here, but I wanted to get to that shoulder. So I just popped that shoulder, and I stomped on the knee. And that stomp would probably make more sense than punching it. So, empty-handed, how would you then hurt the shoulder and my knee? Right? That now it's on you. So now I attack. Ooh, there. You're so violent.
I'm still developing control. So
yeah, it's okay.
I think I'm controlled, but it's not there yet.
No, but it's good because, you know, it's not broken. So I say that's a win. But it's significant enough to understand, yeah, that would have sucked. Now let's take a step further, right?
Sure.
What other 2 points of contact would you say?
Throat, solar plexus.
Ooh, throat and solar plexus. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna take a moment, and you guys can do this at home too. Throat and solar plexus. You don't know what the other person is gonna attack, but you want to hit those 2 points on the human body. Visualize how you would do it. Whether it's a technique you've done before or whether you have to create it yourself on the fly, but take a moment to really consider what it would be or what you would need in order to accomplish that. So, think. Sorry, that was a stupid face. But I want to take a moment really to understand, okay, so the target. How would I go about doing that? Okay, I have an idea. How about you?
I ran a couple things. I don't know if they stuck, but yeah.
Okay. Well, pick one that you think would be like the simplest thing for you. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to attack you.
Yeah.
I am your friend.
I have control.
Visualize. Sorry. You good?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah? No, you got the pieces. Okay, so you got to those pieces. All right, now my turn. Yeah. What did I do? I threw an elbow, and then I threw a punch. As simply as direct as I could have thought of it. I thought of an elbow because I was like, I haven't thrown an elbow yet. So maybe I'll throw an elbow. But that's literally what I was thinking about before I actually did it. Now, did it matter what side he threw that in? No. I have 2 elbows. I have 2 fists. So there are a lot of things then to really start unwinding. And I think we can, it's warm enough, we can sit down now. It's a lot of information that we can start really focusing on, because we think back to any of the techniques that we have and we take the time to understand why they work. All right, this technique works because these are the elements that make it work. All of a sudden you don't have that. You don't have the technique, you just have the element of somebody attacking you, even though it's just in your head. But what are the things then you would want to do, or that you like to do, that you are comfortable doing? And then explore that. And then if you can, have a willing partner who's safe and controlled, help you then see what the changes have to happen when there's an actual person in front of you. Because
well, part of that we touched upon, but I just want to reiterate is even in the visualization process, we're exploring these things, we're trying them, some work better than others, we can improve and tweak and find variations, but we still need to remember that other side again. So that's where it's especially good when someone's in front of you, because there might be adjustments. They throw differently than you expected, they rotate, they step, whatever.
A little taller, a little shorter. It's like, man, I never imagined somebody that tall.
But
maybe you do.
Yeah, but when you're visualizing it, it's good to keep some of those things in mind. Because, maybe there is that other arm coming. You've just been practicing on your entry.
Right.
And
yeah, especially if you go like on the inside and you're, all Billy Badass on the inside, and all of a sudden the left hand is just beating the crap out of you because you forgot this person has 2 arms.
It doesn't necessarily need to be the starting point, but at some point that should click in.
Okay. So you're saying the visualization has to carry that element of realism.
Yes.
Where you have to consider, okay, this person might know what they're doing. This person might be faster, stronger than me. So all these elements then will make or break whatever it is that you're trying to develop. And if we don't consider those things, then we could fall into that pit of doing something that doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not useful. It just means we may not have thought it through enough to make it useful. Because ultimately, regardless of the technique or the art, it really is the artists themselves who makes things work. And Rico put this upon us to say, okay, make it work. And that's
well, one of the things I found particularly valuable about it, because we talk about these things, Rico likes to know what our brains are doing, and I was thinking, what separates us from a drill? We're just getting things more in our brain so that they come out, and those are valid. But what makes us a little different? Does it make anything make it different? And the answer I came up for myself was, there's that element of me being invested in it and being creative. I have to come up with this thing. I have to actually think and go through the process. The visualization obviously reinforces that and it's part of it. But that creativity, that genesis from within, I think makes a world of difference.
So you're saying it's the fact that you're making it up, essentially, and you're then bringing it forth.
I'm not replicating something you said, Eric. When this happens, here's a prescriptive thing. When this happens, you do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Maybe I know some of those fundamentals and I use them, but at that point, I'm thinking, wait, how do I use what I know? What's comfortable for me? How do I make this work? Oh, okay. Well, let me try this.
Yeah, I don't like B. I really like C, and I'd rather go to E.
Yeah.
Instead of any of the other numbers or letters that you used before. Okay.
And because it's coming from me.
Yeah.
It's really gonna stick more. It's gonna be reinforced further, and I'm gonna have more of a sense of accomplishment and ownership and comfortability with it.
Oh, and that all leads to actually being able to use it, because then you trust in it.
For me, yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I think that's actually a great point to make about anyone. I mean, you trust in what you do, you can make it work. But if you're missing key information of it from the get-go, then yeah, you can make it work in certain instances, but maybe not all instances. But then to be able to figure that out and then change the things, the elements that you need to, so you can make it work more often than not.
Yeah.
Then that's you. That's your growth. That's you as a practitioner taking what you know and owning it. Because you always hear it. Go home, practice it, make it your own. How? I don't want to toot Rico in any way because he's got a big enough head. He's egotistic individual. I'll be nice today. I'm not going to say all the usual things I say about him. But this feels like a great idea on how to start that process. How to be able to kind of fill in those gaps and really start creating your own way of doing things and then being comfortable with it because you test it out and oh yeah, that worked, or no, that didn't work. Well, why didn't it work?
Exactly.
And you just repeat the process and keep on learning. I mean, no, that's a fundamental point to have made. So yeah, because I didn't even think about it, to be quite honest. I just said this is cool and that was it. But again, it takes all kinds of minds, right? I mean, you process it differently, I process it a different way, and this is what we get out of it. And ultimately, folks, that's what I hope you guys are doing. You guys are getting out of this what you need to, and you make of it what works for you or what doesn't. It's really on you to make it work for yourself. And I appreciate that degree of trust, I think. Would you call it trust? I don't know. Like, do you think...
I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you're
like
trusting,
Rick
you're trusting the
us
process, you're
to,
trusting yourself.
Oh, that's a lot of elements, huh?
Right, yeah.
Well, I more meant Rick trusting us to take the process and really work it on our own.
Well, he knows that we're going to do what's appropriate for us with our understanding at our level. So we're not going to get in too deep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that, letting us kind of take our own reins and really going in the direction we want to versus him dictating where we should go.
It's very meaningful. Yeah.
So thank you, Rick. We do appreciate you very much. And folks, again, just an idea of visualization. How does it become more than just something you can think about? How does it affect your training? How can that affect or make your training a little better? By really taking in consideration all the elements that go into a real technique. I don't know what's up with her. But that's the class that we had today. We just wanted to share that with you. So thank you very much for joining us and being here with us and sharing in our moment. And any parting words to the people?
No, just trust yourself.
There you go. Or, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like usual. 3, 2, 1, cut!